Question 18. If the bearing of P from Q is 280 degrees, then what is the bearing of Q from P? Now, it's important to remember that bearings are measured as 3-digit angles. Even if it's less than 100, you always put an extra 0 or 2 zeros there to make it 3 digits. That's just traditional, left over from hundreds of years ago when ships used to sail the seas and use world maps and magnetic compasses to make sure they didn't get lost at sea. They had to make sure that they were sailing in the right direction. So they needed to know which direction north was, and then they used the compass to measure the angle round and compare that with a world map so that they were getting to the right place. So, for example, if they were sailing from Europe down to South America, obviously, if they were sailing the wrong direction, they'd end up in the wrong place. So, remember that north is 0, 0, 0 degrees, northeast is 45 degrees, east is 90 degrees or 0, 90, southeast 135, south is 180, southwest is 225, west is 270, and northwest is 315 degrees. So back to the question, P from Q. Well, we're going to draw a little sketch to show what's going on here. So from Q means that Q is our starting point. So we're going from Q. So we'll put a point Q. And this point is going to have a north line. So we'll label that north. And the bearing is clockwise round from north. Well, we can say that 90 degrees round clockwise from north would be to there. Another 90, so that's 180, would be to there. Another 90 would take us to 270, would be to there. So this is 280. So that'd be another 10 degrees, which would be about that much. And that would be the clockwise angle round from north. So then from Q, you can do an arrow in that direction. And that basically is taking you to point P. And P also has a north line. So both Q and P have north lines. And we are now being asked to find the bearing of Q from P. Well, Q clockwise round from P is basically the angle that I am now shading in green. That is the clockwise angle round from P's north line, pointing in the direction back to Q. So that's the angle we're trying to find. So let's use our knowledge of angles to find it. So we've already known from the question that this reflex angle here is 280 degrees, which means this angle here in red would complete the full circle to take you up to 360. So if you take 280 off of 360, you're going to be left with 80 degrees. So that red angle there is 80. But then if you imagine another circle up here, if you continue this straight line from Q to P, and then draw another circle around here, then you know that this red angle here is corresponding to this red angle here. They're in the same position. If they're corresponding and in the same position within the circles, that must mean they are equal angles. Corresponding angles are equal if they're in the same position. So that means this red angle is also 80. Now, that is not the answer because we're actually wanting the green angle. It's the green angle that is the bearing of Q from P, the direction of Q coming from P. So what we do know is that the red plus the green is angles on a straight line. So the 80 plus whatever P is must equal 180 degrees because that's angle on a straight line. Therefore, P must be 100 degrees because 80 plus 100 is 180 degrees. So that's your answer. P is 180 degrees. So that's your answer. P is 100 degrees. So that's your answer. The bearing of Q from P is 100 degrees. That is the angle that Q is pointing in from P's north line.